Okay. I gotta make it public. All right. Oh, hey, shoot, look at that guy already up in here.
What's up, JJ?
You snuck up on me, homie.
I know. You know you're live, right?
I see that.
Let me see. I'm trying to see what. Okay.
Yep.
You could. I'm just sharing it. So if you have your phone or something on you,
yep.
Go into the privacy settings for this video, and you did that.
Already done, sir.
I forgot to do that the first couple of times. I was like, why is there only like 40 something people on? And then later on, it's easy to forget to do. You know, how are you, buddy? How's it going?
Man, I'm good, bud. I'm good. Did you see anything out in the woods?
Man, it was awful today. I'm freezing cold. It was raining. It's cold. I wish I would have just stayed home tonight, man. It wore me out. I missed out on a real big buck last week with the 2-day muzzleloader. I mean, real giant deer, man. It was a heartbreaker. I lost light. Got a little too dark on me too quick. Yeah, it happens.
It does. It does. My biggest thing, I think, is I'm too honest of a hunter. Last year, I passed up on a nice 4x4, and he was 50 yards the other side of a fence on private property, and I was all by myself, top of a mesa. Could have been, and I'm like, nope. My luck, somebody's sitting way the heck over on the hill, glassing me, and I'd be like, screwed.
Yeah, it happens, man. It's tough, but it wore me out. It really did. I never used to get cold, and now I freeze when I'm out there. How's your boy doing, JJ?
Hey, thank you for asking. He's doing good. He actually came home last night. He'll be back in on Monday, so there's that. But he after 3 weeks with 2 days home, and then he'll be home now for 3 days, and then go back in for probably about 4 days, I think, on this one.
I don't know how you guys do it, man. I can't imagine. I feel for you. You know.
I appreciate it. You don't get a stop for life, man. That's the biggest thing. You just onward and upward, and that's all you keep doing.
I hear you. I'm lucky.
I got the strongest wife on the planet, and she holds everything together and runs the business hands down from the hospital room. I'd lose my mind doing it.
That's good. Yeah. No doubt. No doubt.
What do we got? Hey, Ben Rader up in Colorado. How's it going? Howard Young, Whitebeard Canine. George Cumberland, how's it going? Blair, she's one of our clients down in Lubbock, Texas. Phenomenal. So, all right, you guys. So I asked Larry if he would do this. Do you do stands? Do you climb up in a deer stand?
I do climbing. I use a climber for the most part, usually.
Yeah.
I'm getting too old and too fat to do that, man. It's getting hard.
Yeah, more and more every day. But they make them nicer and nicer. They're not like they were when I was a kid, and we were, they were gnarly back then.
Yeah, for sure. Sure.
All right, Ben Davidson out in San Diego. How's it going? So anyhow, guys, I asked Larry, I was like, first off, I've been bugging Larry for the last year. Hey, dude, random text messages. Hey, dude, when you coming to Amarillo? And then he'd literally be doing his other job and be just a few hours from me. And I'm like, bro, come over. And he's like, no, there's green chili up in New Mexico. That's where I'm going. And
That's it.
but no, I've been bugging him, saying, "Come my way. We got a great central location for the Midwest and the or the West Coast. Everything dog seems to happen so much on the East Coast that
Yeah.
I'm like, no, we could really help people out and really, for lack of a better term, draw a crowd and get
Sure.
people a lot of information here in this area."
Mhm.
And Larry, so busy, he finally said, "Dude, when?" And no, back it up. First thing Larry said, very humbly, "Why? Why do you want me?" It's
Yeah.
like, bro, you're Larry Stinking Krohn. What's up?
Yeah. I do have a hard time with that. Yeah, I do stay busy, but at the same time, I want people to understand. I'm not so exciting. I'm a pretty boring guy, and I don't understand. I've never reached out. I'd never say, "Hey, if you want me for a seminar," I don't do that. I do the opposite. Like I try to stay away from it. And
Yeah, you
it's
dodged me pretty good for a long time.
I know I do that. Don't feel I do it to everyone, and it's not because I'm blowing people off. It's honestly, JJ, I don't get it. I don't understand why anybody would really want it. To be honest with you, so it takes me a while to jump on. And you know what? The middle of the country, I love it. I did one in Nebraska, Lincoln, Nebraska. That's about as middle as you get, and it was fantastic because the ladies who put it on did a great job. But like you said, not a lot of people go to those places, so it was really well received. And man, there was a lot of people that showed up and great people. It was absolutely a great experience. I loved it. And so, I kind of like going to the middle of nowhere,
Heck yeah. No, and it's tough. And on this one, I'll tell you what, we've got people from Oregon, Connecticut, Pennsylvania, Colorado. People are coming to Amarillo, not just for the Big Texan, but to see you.
I'm so sorry. I apologize for that.
No, I tell you what, I started doing seminars on the canine side of things, police canine, and decoy side. I don't know, it's about 5 years ago or something like that. And it was humbling. The first guy, I had a guy that reached out to me out in Jacksonville, Florida, and he was like, "Dude, I want you to come here." I was like, "Okay," because I was the guy that was kind of searching out, hey, how can I get out there and really help people? I want to help officers. I'm good at what I do. How do I help them? And these guys, they would, when I reached out, they're like, heck yeah, come on my way. And then finally had somebody that was like, dude, please come my way. Please get down here and help people out down here. And I was like, whoa, okay, I'll come. It's cool.
Yeah.
It's humbling.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. And I'm pretty much someplace, I think, every month of all next year. Somehow I've agreed to, I'm kicking myself in because I do stress out about it. I really do. Like I don't, I think about it a lot, and I'm like, geez, and I don't know. That's just how I am. I stress out about everything.
Yeah.
You don't want to let people down. First 3 seminars I did were awful. I hated it. It was miserable because, back then everybody wanted e-collar. What are you doing? And so there was kind of a curriculum. And so you asked me when we did this to kind of talk about how I do it. Well, after the 3rd one, I thought they were just not good. I completely changed everything. Now, when I show up, it's very informal. I know how people feel sitting there, especially people with dogs, how they stress out. So I make sure we get rid of all that anxiety. And there is no curriculum. I give each person what they want, why they came, as long as I can, if I have the ability to. This way, everyone gets something out of it, and since I started doing that, they work out much, much better. And we have a good time. We have a really good time. a lot of times you'll see a lot of shitty dogs at these things I do. I allow everyone to have their dogs out from the minute we get there. Everybody, every single person. That stresses people out and they worry when they have a bad dog. But what I explain to them is it's going to suck for the first 15, 20 minutes. Okay. But for these people who've never been able to do anything with their dogs, I tell everyone, I guarantee you within 30 minutes, if not less, all of these dogs, no matter how bad they were, are going to be laying down sleeping. Okay. And it's tremendous training for a lot of these people and these dogs that have never done anything, just to be part of it the whole weekend with their dog, instead of having them outside waiting for their turn. You know what I mean? And so that's very beneficial for people, because they definitely get outside their comfort zone at first, but we do it in a way where no one's ever going to feel bad about themselves. We just, we don't do that. We have a good time with it,
So what's the most common first question you get at a seminar?
Well, I don't know if it's a question, but it's more, there's always several people. It's never just one. There's always several people that don't want to take part or want to stay outside with their dog or sit in the back because they think they have the worst dog in the world and they don't want to be disruptive. And I tell them, we want you to be disruptive. That's why you're here, and we're going to fix it. We're going to fix it. I promise you. And there's just, no one ever has to feel bad at these things. And really the first thing I tell people, JJ, is you can see the look on people's faces, the ones with dogs, especially bad dogs. They're nervous. And I explain to them, everyone's in the same boat. I've been on that side, and as nervous as you are, I'm more nervous. You could only fail once. I could fail multiple times. And what I tell people is, you are going to fail this weekend. There's no doubt about it. You're going to fail. But so am I. I'm going to fail multiple times. But we're going to fix it, and we're going to get through it. And with most dogs that come, you're going to see a tremendous change, and people are going to learn something, and not this crap where, you're just using psychology to talk to people about why their dog's doing something, or, pointing this out. But I want to give people something that they could actually take home and benefit for moving forward. Does that make sense? Like
Absolutely.
where they could actually make real changes in their life. No, Carolyn, New York was one of the bad ones, but there are some good things that came out of that, and you were one of them. Denise was one of them. I met some great people at New York, but I just wasn't doing a good job with these things back then because I didn't know what I was doing. They were brand new, but I've met some tremendous people at those first three, and Carolyn's definitely one of them. And she's training dogs now, and that's her competition dog. And she was one of the ones that was pooping her pants coming out there, scared to death, So I'm real proud. I'm real proud of where Carolyn's at now. She's kicking butt, and that's pretty awesome, But we have a good time. We have, hey Ben, we have a good time. We do. Learning doesn't have to be stressful. We laugh. There's always people that cry. There's usually always someone that sneaks in from the purely positive community to disrupt things. And they never do. They never do. By the end of it, if not by the first day, they say, you know what? This isn't what I expected. I came to hate you and mess things up. Every single seminar, just about, there's been someone there that does that, But once they see the way we use tools and we train, and they're very surprised, So we'll have a good time. And then Saturday night, I like to go out for dinner. I like everyone to partake and carry on the conversation and amongst everybody, and everybody's welcome to do that. And you just make a big weekend out of it,
I love that. Absolutely. And we will absolutely put together a social, I always call them the social night,
Sure.
When Absolutely. We do our canine, you get a bunch of cops together and a bunch of decoys and stuff like that. Gets a little crazy, but we make it through the night. The next morning's a little rough. By lunch, everybody's back into moving and doing good. So on here, Blair Spriggs is, like I said, one of my clients. She has a dog that I fully believe we saved this dog's life. Charlie. He was an animal. He was a human and dog aggression case, and it was all based off of a huge lack of confidence. He just didn't. He didn't understand how he could communicate with other animals or other people. And once he figured that out, life was a whole new world for him, and he's living his best life down with Blair now. So I know the answer. I'll let you give it to her. Would Blair be a good fit for this?
Excuse me. Any dog. Not any dog. Okay. What makes the workshops good or bad is the variety of dogs. Okay. We don't want couch potatoes showing up. There's not much you could do with that. I've done workshops like that where people show up thinking they have a really bad dog, and man, there's not a lot there. The dogs aren't bad, there's not a lot of energy. And we want dogs that everyone can learn from. We want difficult dogs to make things educational for people. And the more we struggle, and when I say we, I don't just mean the owners, I mean me also. You don't bring a dog out and I just know the answer and then we do things. Sometimes it takes multiple things that we do before we start seeing progress. So yeah, absolutely, for sure, no doubt. The worse the dog, the more fun we'll have.
There you go. Absolutely. And that's what I tell people all the time. So one of my biggest things, and I'm going to say this right after I pop this one back up here where it says my beard is sexy. But one of the biggest things I say at all of my seminars is I don't want any egos here. I'm not saying there's not egos in canine. There's not egos in dog training. There is. Absolutely. When you're good, it's okay to know that you're good at what you do. Don't let your ego get in the way of helping somebody. Don't let your ego get in the way of helping the dog and just really doing positive things in the dog community. And my first statement when I introduce myself to people or whatever at these seminars, I'm very much like, look, you guys came to hear what I have to say. Okay, you paid. When you're putting on a seminar, let me know. I'll come to yours and I'll sit and listen. You may not agree with everything I do. I hope you probably don't agree with everything I do. If we all agreed, what's the point in this? But tuck your ego away in the car, leave it there, all that good stuff, and let's all work together and train and make things happen for the dog and for the people.
Sure. And another thing I tell everyone every time, JJ, is anything that I do or show you or talk about, it's just the way I do things. Doesn't mean it's the only way. It may not even be the best way. I'm just showing you how I do things, and I'm not coming in there as an instructor or a teacher or an expert. You paid me to come. I'm your employee. I work for you. So what you want, that's what I'm going to try to give you, and usually we can get it done. There's very few people and dogs that we can't help on the spot. Sometimes every now and then you get one that it's like, hey, this dog has nothing. I mean, that you shouldn't even brought it. You know what I mean? You can't work a miracle. But that's just the way that I approach things, and we have a good time. We have a good time. We really do. Mm-hmm.
So Blair asked here, and this is important. I want you guys to understand this. Says, I know the event page said e-collar training. Will you have these available for purchase if this is a tool that would benefit my dog? One, e-collar is going to benefit 99.999% of dogs out there. Very few, when properly introduced and used on super low level stimulation, there's very few dogs out there that an e-collar is not going to help. We have a dog in right now, Copper. It's a bloodhound, shut down from the world. This dog was left out in the backyard to be bred and barely fed, and then had no other life outside of that. The new owner got this dog. We couldn't do anything because there was conflict in everything. put an e-collar on the dog, stepped way back, and started working just to come on command. Just come by me. Not even on command, just respond to the
Sure.
simulation. Opened up a whole new world for this dog. I think Tara just got that video posted today. But the first thing, and for us, I know, does every one of your dogs get an e-collar?
For me, my clients,
Yes, sir.
it's up to the clients, but everybody does. You know, I don't. It's not required from anyone. I give everybody the option, but everybody goes with it. You know, I don't push it on anyone. And you know what people don't understand, JJ, when you hear a lot of the not just the anti e-collar people, but there's hey Ron, but there's plenty of you know, so-called balance trainers too that still don't understand the tool. When they talk about it being lazy, moving to it, I just laugh because I love working with people without the e-collar. That's easy training. It's much easier. When you start getting into the e-collar work, it's stressful for me because
and fingers
well, it's I have to teach you properly, and that takes a little bit of time, and I need people to get it right, which means I have to teach it in a way that people understand it. So it's actually a lot harder and a lot more work to teach people properly how to continue the process with their dog. You know, shit, if we're not working with the e-collar and it's all leash work and all the basics, that's a blast. That there's no stress involved in that. You know, you can't mess that up, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And it is the biggest thing. If you're handing off a DDC, a dominant dog collar, or if you're using prong collars and sending dogs home with those, if you're doing e-collars, all of those things have to be properly introduced to the dog first, but then you have to spend so much more time, because I can honestly communicate easier to a dog than I can people many times, because
Sure.
people have preconceived notions of how things work. The dogs don't.
Yeah.
They learn the second I put it on them.
Yeah, it takes effort. It really does. It's a lot of work, you know. And that's why the first few seminars, that's what people wanted. That was the only thing they wanted, and I hated that, you know, because that gets real boring real fast, introducing dog after dog. And once I changed it up and I said, you know what, this is for everything. Whatever people want, it was very, very different from there. And we have a good time, and we see all kinds of cool dogs, you know. We get to have a really good time. You know?
Yep. No, absolutely. So how do you, I mean, I know we address or I'm assuming you address every dog on its own merit, train the dog in front of you type thing. But so tell us, how do you start a seminar? What's the first thing you do? You walk out and everybody applauds and you throw roses?
I pretty much jump right into it. Here's the thing. Dog trainers like to talk, you know, and I definitely can talk a lot, you know, once I start going about this stuff, but people can get that anywhere. So when they show up for a seminar, like I said, first of all, it's tense. There's a lot of stress. The last thing people want is me standing up there talking and talking and talking, because no one's going to remember shit about that. All right. So I talk very little to start off, and we jump right into with one of the dogs right away, because that alone usually creates the conversation that everyone can participate in. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes,
and I like to work the dogs. I don't spend, like, I know a lot of people will take the whole first day and just talk and just theory. That's not my thing. I'm not the guy for that. We're gonna put our hands on the dogs right away, and we're gonna start working, and we work them straight through the weekend. And then usually the second day, we're working all the dogs at once by the end of the day, pushing each dog a little bit on what we worked on in a, you know, as much as it could be a real world setting at a seminar. Listen, a workshop isn't always the best place to start certain things with the dog, but we're there, so we do it, you know. So what we wind up doing with a lot of the dogs, JJ, especially with the e-collar stuff, I'll push things a little faster than I normally would to show the people where to go. But then I make sure when they leave they know, step back, take it slow. Now you're going to start from the beginning, but you have an idea of where to go from here. Does that make sense?
100%, 100%. So I have some. I talked to a lady the other day for this seminar, and she was asking. She said, "Hey," in her words, "I'm a seminar virgin, first time goer. I don't know anything about seminars." She said, "Should I bring my dog?" Now, I told her, I said, "You know what? Dead honest, first time seminars. I say bring a notepad and a pen."
Yeah.
And sit back and just stay focused on what's going on. Because if you do bring your dog to the very first seminar you go to, you're going to be looking down, checking your dog, and there's going to be, we all know timing is everything. So there's key moments you're going to miss when you're looking down at your dog. So how do you feel about that?
I think that's a great question she asked. And I could tell you right now, if I were to attend a seminar from anyone, any place in the world, I wouldn't be bringing a dog. I'm going to sit there and I'm going to listen and take everything in that I can. And where a lot of people go wrong is they show up with their dog and they only pay attention when it's time to focus on their dog and work their dog. And that's one of the biggest mistakes I see. You kind of have to just shut your mouth and pay attention to everyone's dog, because you're going to learn something from everyone's dog, not just your own. And you may learn something more valuable when we're working someone else's dog than you will from working your own dog, you know? So that's really, really important. But I like the audit spots because it's totally stress-free for people and you could really soak in everything. You know, some people have to have that working spot. They need help with their dog. You know
Sure.
what I mean? But yeah, I agree with you there. Just show up and listen. You're going to learn, and it will give you a better idea for the next time. You'll be better prepared to bring your dog, and you'll be more comfortable, you know?
Absolutely. You know, you usually got like a bottle of scotch or something, and
No, I'm so tired. And you know, I did an interview with Dave Krohn the other night.
I watched it.
And I had some bourbon. I had just got in from a private lesson, and I didn't eat anything all day. I ate early in the day, and then I went all day without eating. I was training dogs, and I had to rush home for the live, and I had some bourbon, and it hit me like a ton of bricks, you know, from not eating. I said, you know, I'm done. You know, I'm finished. I need this whole COVID thing between the eating and the drinking. It's killing me. I'm so out of shape. I feel terrible, you know, and I'm in the gym every day, you know, but because of all the eating and the bourbon and just, I only have bourbon basically when I do a live, but for a while I was doing like 3 a week. It was too much. I had to stop.
Yeah,
you know?
for sure.
Yeah.
And
So
you're much like I am. You know, there's my wife, she eats because we got to have some sort of substance in the body. I eat because I fucking like food.
yeah, I love it.
It's a big thing for me. Food is a huge deal for me. And it's
Me
why
too.
I'm fat today, and I know it, but I still get in a bite suit every day of my life, you know, do all those things. But
no,
I'm a Bloody Mary guy, big Bloody Mary guy here.
Oh,
drink those nonstop.
I could never. I could never. Couldn't do it. Couldn't do it.
So, what do you want? What out of your heart of hearts? What do you want the biggest takeaway for the majority of your students in a seminar to walk away from? Is there a one main thing or a group of things?
No, my goal is always that whatever each person came for, they leave feeling a lot better and having a better understanding of it. I mean, literally, I want to address is I want to provide. I don't want to just provide information and hear myself talk. I want to provide information that will actually help them, like to make real change. You know, not ego stuff on my end to tell someone how much I know, or you know what your dog's doing there. Do you know what he's thinking there? All that shit helps no one. it does nothing to provide real change for the dog, you know? And so I truly just want to provide that real change for every single person and just give them a better understanding of things. And if I don't know something, if I don't know the answer, I'll tell you I don't know. You know, why is my dog doing this? Well, I don't know. He's a dog. I know there's people that will tell you they know why, but a lot of times I don't know. But you know what? Let's play around with this and let's see what this does. Now, that's not changing. Let's try something else, you know? And that's just the way. And like I said, I always tell everyone, JJ, this is the way I do things. Doesn't mean it's the only way, might not even be the best way, you know, but I do pretty well with the dogs and I have pretty good success. And so this is what I'm doing. This is how I train. And of course, every now and then you run into a dog that, you know, really kicks your ass and you struggle with. But for the most part, it's usually fairly easy. You know, it really is. It really is.
In the beginning of my dog training career of things, I likened dog training to golf. Okay, I couldn't play golf for shit either back then. And dog training just kicked my ass. I was like, I don't get it, because I was like, why is the dog doing this? Why is the dog acting like this? Why is the dog responding in this way? Once I quit worrying about that, then I could start getting those beautiful chip shots that bring you back to the game of golf. There's that one drive that you're like, I crushed it. And you think it went like 400 yards. It went 220 or something, but you think it went 400 yards, but it was straight. And that's what kept me in the game. Once I got to a point to where I quit asking why, and I just said, what can we do to move forward? How do I move forward with this dog? I almost said this horribly wrong, I think. It almost made me a Tiger Woods. You know, I was like, every shot was straight. They weren't all straight, but it was absolutely so much easier. I quit worrying about why, and figured it out into how.
Sure. Well, and I think what a lot of the people will be surprised about is how much we focus on the people. You know, I mean, it's a lot more about the people handling the dog than it is the dog. You know, and a lot of times people don't address that. Trainers don't address that. Owners don't realize that that's the issue. But look, these dogs aren't born with issues. You know, we create them. And we have to take a look at the person. We have to take a look at, you know, what's going on in the individual's life. You know, what stage of their life are they in? What personal issues? Everyone has personal things in their life that affect the way we live with these dogs. It has a huge impact. And
COVID's been one of the biggest things for that.
I
have so many people, and to a level, I call bullshit to my clients a lot, because they're like, oh, well, with COVID, I couldn't socialize my dog. You know, and I'm like, first off, quit thinking that socialization has something to do with just other dogs or other people.
Right. Sure.
Socialization is to the world. It's to every stimuli that's out there. You know, there's things you could be doing. But I do have a lot of dogs coming in right now that are constant with, well, he doesn't know how to be around other animals. He doesn't know how to be around random people, things like that. And it is because COVID.
Right. No, listen, you know, I preach it all the time, but what we do with our animals, the way we live is everything. That's where the big problems come from, but that's where the big change comes from also, you know, and it's the little things that we sometimes overlook. And a lot of times in these seminars, just watching the person handle the dog and looking at all the little quirks with the dog and the things that the dog gets away when it's in its owner's care, it's unbelievable what changes we can make just by pointing that stuff out that people don't realize. You know, it's mind blowing what people don't realize they do. You know, half the times they don't even know they're doing the things they're doing with their dog. And so all that stuff's really important. And look, I might be working with one dog in the middle of the floor and stop on a dime and ask someone in the back, why did you do that? What were you just doing? And they're like, like they're caught in the deer in the headlights. I'm like, I saw what you were doing. Like, why would you do that in that situation? And you work through that. You focus on every single person that's there. And that's why I like having the dogs out, because it creates a lot of learning for the whole weekend, for the whole weekend. Of course, if we have a dog that's dog aggressive or human aggressive, then we take precautions. We always want to be safe. We have to, safety comes first. If it's, you got right. Yeah. Thanks, Carolyn. Yeah, we did. But I'll have to talk to you in private more about that one someday, Carolyn. There was a lot that came out of that one. Believe me when I tell you, not a lot of good, But some of these ones, the past few that I've done, there's been 50 people there with a ton of dogs. So we get to really see a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? I mean, everything under the sun,
So do you have a cap or a class size that you enjoy?
No, I'm real easy, JJ. I got no rules. I'm very informal. Whatever, how much info was I giving you?
No, absolutely.
You said, how much do you want to charge? Whatever you think. It's all good. How many people? Whatever you want. I don't care. I'll be there.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Well, and I'm used to the canine side of things. And if I have 50 dogs and 3 decoys, we're going to be really probably shorting a couple dogs if we're doing a problem solving seminar, something like that. And I'm putting officers back on the street with dogs that have to be able to do their job. So I do condense my seminars down to a much smaller number of working slots. Audit slots are a million out there. Yeah. Go ahead. So
now I'm doing it is just an e-collar seminar in March, but it's just police canines. It's a private seminar, and I think there's 50 teams there from what I understand, and it's 50 canine teams that they want to completely change their programs and get with the more modern way of training with the e-collar.
I love it.
Yeah, I'm like, that's impressive that they want to do that, but at the same time, I'm stressed. That's a lot of people, a lot of dogs.
It is. What you need to do is get everybody's remote paired to their own sound box.
Yeah.
And just
yeah, no kidding. That's going to be interesting. I got to figure out how to work that one, because that's a lot of dogs. That's a lot of teams.
It really is. I hope it's like a 3-day, not just a 1 or 2 day deal.
It's a 2-day. They wanted 1 day at first, and I was like,
no way.
That's
I won't do a law enforcement 1 day. I will not do a law enforcement 1 day.
So we're doing at least 2 days, as far as I know.
So Adam Watson had asked on here, is this open to law enforcement? Adam, this is open to absolutely everybody. We have at the current moment, we have law enforcement officers that are already signed up and coming to this, correctional officers that are signed up and coming to this. We have pet dog owners, and we have trainers from all over the nation that are humbling themselves and saying, I'm going to put myself to the side and come listen to Larry and the things that he has to teach. So 100% this is open to everybody. However, if you're a law enforcement officer and you're looking at the e-collar side of things specific, then hit Larry up, see if you can get in on that, or maybe you host him in your own e-collar course at your location, however Larry does it. Hit him up. Let's see here. Ronnie, is there a minimum size limitation in your view for e-collar training? What's the smallest client dog that you've put an e-collar
on? In Australia, we had a Chihuahua that the video just popped up yesterday. So if you go back in my Facebook and look at the times, we had a Chihuahua that was kicking ass with the e-collar. I mean, doing really well. And the trainer that they used in Australia before they came to see me had already done a great job with the dog. So we were just able to have a really good time with the dog. I'm not a big fan of looking at a 3-pound Yorkie with a big giant brick running around his neck, and it really just comes down to, you know, what is it for? Why do you feel like you need to turn to an e-collar with this little tiny dog? You know, but like I said, with the Chihuahua, that dog was little, and the video just popped up yesterday. That was in the Melbourne, Australia seminar, and we had a blast with that dog. You know, and that video was like the anti-e-collar's worst nightmare. You know, a little tiny Chihuahua flying around having the time of its life. You know.
Good job, Scott, on the 5-pound Yorkie.
Yeah, there's some of them. They're so small. It's like, geez, man.
And like Greg's done a great job with the micro. I would love to see one about half the size of the micro, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah.
I think we've gotten down about as small as they're going to get on the receiver end of e-collar. So you do a lot with the Martin system. I know that you have a lot to do with following Bart Ballone's system of training and stuff like that. With that, the Martin system's considerably skinnier, isn't it? At least
the Martin system collar Chameleon's nice, man. I mean, there is no brick. It's a flat fitting collar, and I have them for my dogs. I don't push them with my clients because they're expensive.
Yeah, they're way.
But I think all trainers should have them. You know, most of my clients still use e-collar technologies. More clients have seen some of the reviews I did on the Chameleons, and so they'll ask me about it, and they wind up. I don't sell them. I just send them to someone that does sell them when they want one. I don't get involved with that. But yeah, it's really nice, and they fit completely flat to the dog, and there is no block. You know.
Yeah. Awesome. Blair came back. She said 100% agree that she was the problem. She didn't know how to lead her dogs. Now they're rock stars because she knows how to work with them. Same thing like you were saying. I push. And my trainers, I have a few trainers that work for me now. I know you're still one man showing it, right? You don't have anybody working for you.
I don't think I ever will.
It's tough. It's really tough to have that feeling that I trust this person enough to train a dog to the point and put in the work, the love, the effort, and everything that I put into it and represent my name, my business. It's super tough.
Listen, I was telling someone the other day, I think on a live, they didn't believe me. My daughter is 15. She does a lot with the dogs. My son is 10. He's doing much better with it too and gets into it. Neither one of them pick up poop. I won't let them because I'm going to do it better. So
there you go.
I don't have my kids pick up dog poop. I pick it all up unless I'm traveling. Then my kids do it, you know.
Yeah.
But so I don't think anyone. I'm a very easy person to get along with, but I think I'd be a nightmare to work for. I don't think I could do it. I'd be a nervous wreck.
In your other job, are you at a supervisory position or level
now? No, I never wanted that. Never. No.
I wouldn't want it with that job either. I wouldn't want it.
I'm done in February. I hang it up February 12th is my 25 year to the day.
Woo-wee.
Yeah.
There you go. All right. So let's see here. Here's Diane Diarra. She was at your seminar in Destin.
Yeah. We are doing it. We are rescheduling it, Diane. It'll be we're looking at Memorial Day weekend right now in Destin. But as a matter of fact, I have to call those ladies and confirm a date. It was just a little harder for me to confirm a date there because that's a family vacation too. So we got to make sure we got our condo and all that good stuff. But yes, we'll be back down in May or early June. But I think we're talking about Memorial Day weekend.
Okay. So there you guys go, and keep following. Larry's done a great job at posting where his seminars are, the ones he's doing with other people. I've had a lot of people, oh my God, I can't wait to hear you and Larry talk and all. This ain't me, guys. Okay, Larry's coming here because I asked him. The most you're gonna hear out of me is thank you for coming. This guy's talking. Okay. I'm gonna shut up, step to the back, and let Larry do what Larry does. Okay. So you got a few that you're doing where it's just you, right?
Yeah, yeah. I'm doing me and Joel Silverman are doing one in December in Tucson. I'm coming by you in January. Then we're doing one with Joel and J Jack in St. Louis in, did I say February maybe? I don't know. I'm yeah, there's a, I'm doing one in March out at Rob's place in
Rob's
Arkansas.
teammate.
Yeah, in Arkansas in March, and the one in Destin, doing one in Utah, September or October. We're looking at, but we got several. Yeah, we got several. I think I'm all year, and I didn't ask to do any of them. I thought I didn't. Somehow I wind up saying yes, and now we got them going all year long. You know.
So, guys, you're asking a lot of great questions in here, and I don't want to skip over them. But the primary thing is for this live was so that you guys could hear how Larry does it and what he does at the seminars. There's a lot of questions in here, Larry.
Ask away if you want, JJ. Go ahead.
Okay, cool. If you're cool, I'm cool. I just wanted to kind of make sure. So Rachel Thomas Brett said, I'm introducing. Do you know her?
No. Okay. I see the top part of the question. That's all I had.
Yeah. So you can read it. I have wonderful success, but have a difficult time with the owners believing that livestock dogs can't be trained with them, or believing that they won't work independently after training. Any suggestions? So I guess this is more about communication with the owners.
Yeah. You know, Rachel, I have 3 Great Pyrenees that I'm working with right now. I don't think there's a harder dog to work with. Like, I dread it all the time. It's really tough. That is a straight up communication issue with the owners, and you have to be believable. You have to give them reason to trust you and believe in you. You know, and really that relationship, you know, I always push the relationship with the dog. It's extremely important, but for me, that relationship with the owner is just as important, you know? So I won't push anyone to do anything that they're not comfortable with. And I think in that case, if they don't believe that it can be done and they're fighting you, I would hold off on it. I wouldn't do anything that they're not comfortable with doing, you know, always leave it in their hands. But that's just the way I do things. I tell you what, if someone decides they want to do e-collar training, but then they're real hesitant and they feel bad once they start, I end it. We're done. I'm like, no, I'm fine. It's like, no, you're not ready. We're done. We don't do that. I'm not going to have you do anything to your dog that you're uncomfortable with. It just doesn't work. I'll never put someone in that situation, you know? So give them everything you can with what they're comfortable with. That's it.
So do you have the owners feel the collar in their hand or something prior to working it on a dog?
Not just feel it, just like I've done, you know, the couple of videos with my little girl in the past, you know, they feel it a lot. They, you know, I condition them to it. They understand it. But then when they're done with that, then I'm holding it and I become the dog. And they work me for a while. So I understand if they're starting to understand the timing and the mechanics, and that allows them to make mistakes on me. I want them to make mistakes on me. So, and I can make it a little difficult for them, just like the dog's going to do, you know? And several years ago, I stopped doing that because I thought it was silly. And what I saw was people struggled without it. Like, it's a lot harder for the average dog owner to understand the concept, no matter how many times you tell them or how many videos you show them. Once that e-collar's in their hand and you spend some time working them and then you switch and they have to work you, that makes clear sense to them right from the start. And you see their learning capability go through the roof. And use with the sound box so you could really pay attention. It makes it so easy.
That sound box, like we use the walkie talkies for years, scanners. whatever. But that sound box is so phenomenal. I love it.
Absolutely.
I use it daily.
You can't do it without, because you have to have some way to know once the remote is in the owner's hand and the collar's on the dog. You have to have some way to understand if they're doing what needs to be done correctly. You have to be fair to the dog at all times.
She said, "Thank you, Larry. I do the same and make them use the e-collar on me and use a speaker so they can hear their own timing."
Yeah, it makes a big
Rachel. All right, let's see here. Oh, side note, your daughter is an inspiration to the world, bro. This girl is such a go-getter, so dedicated to whatever she puts herself to. I have watched her. How old is she now? 14?
You talking to me?
Yes.
Oh, she's 15 now. Yeah,
15. I've watched Sophia since she was, I think, probably since she was about 9 or so, is when you first started putting her in videos. And that little girl, she pushes herself in sports. She pushes herself to work with her dogs and helping you video. I've seen her out in the cold videoing you, and you can just tell in your little red truck that everybody knows, you can see you can see her bundled up with a hat and scarf on and stuff and gloves, holding the camera for you. Give her kudos, okay?
Thanks, buddy. I appreciate that'll make her feel real good, because she's getting to that age now where she doesn't want to be with mom and dad as much as we were just talking, me and my wife, it's starting to hit us like this sucks.
It's tough.
She never leave our side, and now it's like she's never around,
I got 6 kids, bro. I got 6. I got 2 left in the house.
Oh, I didn't know you had 6 kids. Holy smokes.
Yeah, it's really weird. I go on a deployment, come back, 9 months later there was a kid. I don't all right, let's see here. We're cutting on some time. Let's see here real quick. Ronnie gives you some love. Says,
thank you, Ronnie. Appreciate it, buddy.
And then let's see here. Scott Allen has a fearful Malinois will fear bite walking into a kennel. What's your first start?
I don't know, Scott. I'd have to see the whole picture. I'd have to see everything up to that. But I could tell you this: any dog I work with, where the problem lies, I never go to that part. Like, I don't work at where the problem is. We do a lot of things before we get to that point, And so I'd want to see a little bit of more there. Why does he fear bite walking into the kennel? What's causing him to do that? How can we change the dog's perception of that? You know what I mean? And so I would address that long before we ever get to the kennel. But that's what I do with everything. If I get a dog in that's, dog aggressive, he's with me at least 2 weeks, if not 3 weeks, before we ever go any place where we can see another dog. The only dogs he's going to see are my own dogs that are here with us, which in a couple of minutes he's going to realize he doesn't have to worry about them, But I put a lot of work in before I address the problem. Mm-hmm.
I was actually talking to my staff yesterday about you and your Rottweiler that you had, Bruno. And how they said, well, I don't understand when people want to use their personal dogs around client dogs, and it may be an aggressive dog or whatever. I said, Larry used Bruno for years around other dogs, but Bruno had an understanding of boundaries, and that was the biggest thing, I think.
JJ, if it wasn't for that dog, I'm not where I'm at today. And I truly believe that, because I was able to work with dogs back then that I don't work with anymore. I don't want to. I have no desire to. And I was able to work with those dogs because of him. Like, watching him around those dogs was absolutely mind-blowing. Blew me away on a daily basis. But it also gave me a comfort to know that he was always there with me if anything bad ever happened, And he was just amazing to watch, like really mind-blowing with that dog, the way he acted around very difficult, scary, dangerous dogs, And I would have never been able to do what I did with those dogs without him.
Yeah. So, it's kind of funny. I think for the dog world and how small it is, a lot of people watch you, a lot of people follow you, and we all kind of got to know your dog's Bruno and stuff like that. And now you got medical issues um, with your Malinois,
Yeah.
Luca. Yeah. And, we watch those things, and it's almost like when Bruno passed, it was almost like we should have been playing um, uh, a Nikki Sticks song as well. Like everybody knew that dog, and everybody knew what that dog had going in life and what you used it for, things like that.
Yeah, that was my buddy. We traveled around the country together, and which made it that much harder. He went everywhere with me. He really did, and he was just the ultimate dog. But you know what? Luke is really good with the difficult dogs too. He really is. I never thought he would be, but he's great around difficult dogs because he has no interest. He can care less about whatever another dog is doing. He doesn't care, and so he benefits a lot too. Not I don't do much with him anymore though.
Sure. Mango's killing it though. You'll be all right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Scott's asking a few more questions here, and started using movement, but she ends up pulling around because she won't walk. Tried to get her to understand pressure on, pressure off, but she's not responding. Ends up choking herself out. My question to you, and I know you said you have to see the dog, and I fully agree with that. How much existential feeding work do you do with dogs like this possible?
I do none really.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the dogs eat. I use their food in the beginning to train as long as they'll take it. If they don't, I don't withhold food. They eat. But here's the thing, Scott. You just said something important. If your dog can't walk on a leash, the most basic of things, it's very hard to fix more difficult things. Okay. So start with the small things, getting that dog to understand leash pressure, getting it to want to be at your side, teaching it how to walk. And these difficult things get a lot easier, but you'd be amazed how many things you could fix if your dog just understands the basics. A lot of dogs, like what you're describing, they get here and I say, okay, what's the dog's marker word? And you're like, well, sometimes I say okay or this or that. So it can't be this has to be very clear. And then I say, what's your dog's release word? And most people don't even have a release word for their dog. And for me, if you don't have a release word for your dog, it makes it that much harder for your dog to know when it needs to be in command, if it doesn't know when it gets to be out of command, And so when you implement all these very small things, all right, with your dog, Scott, let me give you an example. You pull up to my house with that dog, with the issues you're talking about. I watch you when you get here, get out of your car. Okay. I know right away, within 10 seconds, kind of what we have. All right. Once you exit the car, most dogs, the nose goes to the ground because of all the smells from the dogs around here, and the nose is in the ground going. I stop you right there. I say, get back in the car, do it again. We start right there. When I take that dog and I have that leash and that dog tries to leave, I'm bringing it back. That dog tries to leave, I'm bringing it back. The first thing that dog has to learn is that when you're on the leash, you're next to me unless I release you. That's simple. And you'd be amazed on how many people don't have that. The dog's walking around them. It's walking this direction, walking that direction, and the people are moving the leash to accommodate the dog. No. When you're on that leash, you're to be next to me. If she's by my side, she'll try to tag me. That's a big problem then, Scott. That's a much bigger problem than going in the crate. So it's not just a kennel thing. I mean, this is either a complete breakdown of relationship, or you have a dog. We need to know more. When did this start? How old is the dog? How long do you have it? Is this dog genetically a mess? Did something happen along the way? So all these things are really important. I'd be curious, actually.
Scott, do me a favor if you want to, and I'm not stepping on anything for Larry here. You want to message him too, by all means. Larry helps a million people. He helped me years ago with dog things that I had. message me, Scott, and I'll be more than willing to give you whatever advice I can. Or if you want to call me, you got my number, so feel free.
Sure.
Let's see here. So here's one for you. You need to address that because the rest of the world feels that.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Nick. I just told my wife, like, right before we started this, I said, I'm getting so fat, I can't take this anymore. I said, I feel awful. I could actually feel my belly just being there for the first time in my life. This just doesn't.
I hate that.
Oh, it's horrible. But I just love to eat so much, man. I love it.
My military years, my years in law enforcement, corrections, things like that. Like, I never felt that. I never had that.
Yeah.
And now I've been out going on 8 years now from any of that kind of stuff. Bro, I feel it here. I feel it here. I feel it all the places.
Me too. It's horrible. Horrible.
But let's see here. Yeah. Scott says thanks. Larry, we're at an hour, and I know that's where you normally like to keep these, man. I could talk to you on here and answer questions with people all night long. But if you guys got something, by all means, reach out. Larry's super busy, and he's got a million people sending him stuff every day. I think one time you posted on Facebook, I don't know, it was 4 or 5 years ago, I think, that you had shown how many emails you had in, and it was like in one day, like 296 emails, and it was all dog training. Yeah. I was like, I'm so glad I don't have that.
I think it was the last seminar I did. I think it was in Australia. Someone said to me, we came, but we've sent you emails. You don't respond. I said, let me show you something, guys. And I have 2 emails, and under one of them, I had 50-something thousand unread emails. I said, I'm not ignoring. I don't see them. Like, it's physically. I used to take pride, JJ, in responding to every person that called me, every person that messaged me or emailed me. I responded to everyone, always. I answered every question I could. But over the years, it's gotten to a point where it's not possible. It's just, and I'm not complaining. It's, I'm grateful that people want to contact me, but I can't do it. It's physically impossible. That's why I do the lives. That's why I do the free videos, because hopefully that answers a lot of questions. But I never intentionally blow anyone away, blow anyone off. It makes me feel bad when I see someone, say some nasty things about me, like, oh, he's too good for us now, he don't respond. I don't see them. Or another thing is, I'll get messages from people on Facebook, on Messenger, that get pissed off. But what they don't realize, if I'm not friends with you on Facebook, I don't see the messages. They don't pop up. Does that make sense?
So-and-so sent you something and you don't even see it. I get it all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't see them, and then Instagram, I'm still trying to learn. Just today in my hunting stand, I went to Instagram to check my messages, and I have a list of all these people that mentioned me in their story. But when I go to check and respond, it's gone, because I guess they only last 24 hours. That's some dumb shit.
You can put, I don't know, you can do like you can do your story, and then you can do an actual post, but the actual post is not like normal. I'm totally new to it. I've got like 800 people on my Instagram or something, and there's thousands on my Facebook. I'm like, can y'all show me how to do this over here? Because I have no idea.
I'm trying to be better, but it is what it is.
All right. So real quick, this is actually one of my trainers at our Dallas Fort Worth location, and she is super excited to come up, and she wants to pick your brain on Harvey's situation. Harvey is a oh man, if I say Australian Shepherd, she's going to kill me. I think I can't remember right now. Shepherd, I think it's an Aussie, but he has some sort of issue where his light switch comes on and off. It just comes on and off, and when it's off, he's okay. When the light switch comes on, he's actually a little bit aggressive. So, That'll be good, Darby. Bring them up if you want to. I know that I've got my staff coming in and they were at an audit slot, but sure, bring them up. Larry, I do want to let you get. I know that you got a wife and children, and you've been in the tree stand. And so our hunting season, it starts November 1st. I'll actually not be back here. I won't be back here. I'm going to Virginia for Dave Croyer's seminar next weekend up in Virginia. November 1st, I won't get a hunt. November 2nd, if I get back early enough, I could hunt the evening. And when that happens, I'm not around.
Yeah,
I'm not around. My wife's amazing. She understands that hunting is my one getaway through the year.
Same
and
here.
dog training is how we feed each other. So I go train dogs and I go hunting. That's about how it goes.
Me too. We're the same there, buddy. That's it.
Yeah. So, all right. I will let you guys, I'll let you get, thank you so much. Thank you.
You're welcome, buddy.
I got a big feeling that your wife is sitting like to your left or your right.
She is
there.
My left.
Yeah, you keep looking at her. She's either saying "get the hell off the computer" or she's completely supporting you with what you do every day, and probably both. She's a phenomenal lady. Loved watching her. She gained a soccer not a scholarship. What kind of award? Like some bodybuilding or?
She used to compete. Yeah. She used to compete, and she hurt her back a couple years ago, so she don't do that. But
well, I don't know how you at your age are married to a 25-year-old supermodel, but brother.
She said she loves you.
No. Hey guys, thank you so much for everybody that tuned in on here. I am gonna let Larry get the heck off here because I'd hold him here all night. Larry, thank you.
No, thank you. I look forward to seeing you, buddy. And big prayers daily for your boy. Okay.
Right, I'll let Jalix know that. We appreciate it all the time.
The real stuff that matters. This shit don't matter in the long run, you know.
It don't. And
I'll keep in touch with you, and I'll see you real soon.
All right, brother. I appreciate it. Go enjoy your family.
You got it, buddy. Thanks, JJ. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.